I think we're live. Okay. Okay. So we are back after a quick break with Startropics 2. Zoda's Revenge Startropics 2. For some reason, they put Startropics as a very small subtitle under this one. I don't really know why.
Possibly because this is less star and more, well, even less tropics too.
Yeah, less tropics. and Zoda doesn't end up getting his revenge, so it's kind of just all a mess, really.
It's just a bad title for the game, all in all.
All right, so I'm gonna get started here. We have a whole chapter worth of dialogue to just press A through, so we can chat a little bit through that. So I'll go 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so this, yeah, go ahead. Oh, okay, I'll go. All right, this is Startropics 2, released just a few years after Startropics 1, but it has a lot of differences in it. So we actually have Mike here speaking with a character that we unfortunately didn't get to meet in Startropics 1 because we got the credit skip. But this is one of the Argonian children, Mika, that we saved in Startropics 1, and she's speaking telepathically with Mike, letting us know how to solve this riddle here that our Uncle Steve is trying to solve in this strange book. And we solve the riddle, and we end up traveling into the book, which takes us into different points in history. It's a wild one. Where Startropics 1 kind of started it off slow, this one just throws you right into the thick of it.
Travel telepathically. Time travel. Boom. You're in Ice Age.
Yeah. So we find Mike here in the Ice Age, like Bugdoctor said, and so we'll start off with some of the differences here between Startropics 1 and 2. The overworld sections are still here, but they work a little bit differently. You can actually fall into some pits here in the snow that will take us into random dungeons. Yeah, oh yeah. Wow, I'm surprised you didn't fall into any of them. So Bugdoctor knows the proper way to go. To not have to take go into any extra dungeons there. This is where we actually get our very first main weapon, which is unfortunately not a yo-yo this time around. It's a stone axe that we're gonna. We have an infinite supply of stone axes that we're gonna hurl at our enemies as we go into this first dungeon coming up here.
Yeah, there's no melee attacks in this game at all. It's all projectiles.
Yeah.
It's more Rudy Tooty Shooty.
Another. Call it. So one of the things that does come over in this game is the buffer system is still alive and well. So Bugdoctor will be using that. Whoa! Wait, Bug, are you moving diagonally?
Oh, I can't believe it!
Oh my goodness, this is so crazy. So Startropics 2 actually adds a diagonal movement, which is completely different from Startropics 1. And there, that Bugdoctor pulled off beautifully, is one of the most important pieces of tech in the Startropics 2 speedrun. That is a Void Walk. We shouldn't be able to jump over. Wait.
Go left like that. Just say left. That's weird.
We shouldn't have to, or be able to jump over 2 blocks like that. But what we do is we actually take damage on the same frame where the game is technically, where Mike is actually supposed to be taking a death animation. But it prioritizes the damage and then gives us a frame to input immediately after the damage, allowing us to jump on tiles where Mike should actually be falling to his death.
Yes.
So it's really cool tech that we're going to use a few times, hopefully a few times in the run. Yeah, so over the course of the hour-long speedrun, it's not used a whole lot, but it does save a very large chunk of time because we end up skipping large portions of the run. So this is a pattern that well, I'm not even going to talk about because we're going to talk about the boss. So this is Yum Yum. This first chapter goes by very fast. Yum Yum is super duper hungry and doesn't even want to attack Mike at all because he's chewing on a boar. And if you actually defeat that boar, Yum Yum will get really mad and start attacking Mike in a fit of rage. He gets hangry.
Yeah, that's actually a really good word for it. It becomes like the worst boss in the game. I didn't get the skip.
Didn't get the child skip. That's all right. But yeah, a large portion of that first dungeon is this this memorization puzzle. You find the solution to the puzzle earlier on in the overworld, but obviously, Bugdoctor's got that code memorized at this point.
Yes. I got a block that looks suspiciously like a block from some puzzle game that I think
it's Columns. Columns, I think, is the game.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, well, we got a Tetris block that we pick up here. We have to pick up all the Tetrads, and for reasons unknown at this point, I believe. I don't think we know exactly what we need to why we need to pick these up, except for that is our ticket home.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we find out until like, oh geez, I don't even remember. Is it 6? 5 or 6? Might be till like 8? I don't know. You don't really find out about them for a while.
But you know what? It's video games. We have to get all of the Tetrads to find our way home.
Yeah, just get the block. Don't ask questions.
Yeah, don't worry about it. All right, so that's the first action portion of the run. So that's chapter 2. We are in ancient Egypt.
Sour, please.
Sour, please. Love this music. Chapter 3, we end up having to talk to a lot. This is actually one of the only chapters where we actually have to talk to a number of villagers before being able to progress. Startropics 2 takes out a lot of the NPC talking that Startropics 1 had. There's a lot more NPCs to talk to, but very few of them are necessary to progress. So we go on to the ship here, which is owned by Cleopatra, and we find out that Cleopatra ordered a pizza 3 days ago, and it hasn't shown up yet, because that's totally a normal thing that you did in ancient Egypt, is order pizza.
From a different country.
Oh yeah. It's also important to note that there is actually a weapon upgrade that you can get, a secret weapon upgrade. We will get it later, but you can get it earlier on in this chapter, but we actually skip it because getting it actually takes more time. Alright, so as we go through this dungeon, you'll notice that a lot of the dungeons and rooms in Startropics 2 involve defeating a lot of the enemies or finding different buttons to get through puzzles, and also doing some like platforming here. So we have a whole different variety of ways to get through the dungeon. We have an interesting tech that's coming up in one of the next few rooms, which is boy, oh no.
It's a swinging blades at me.
And that other one back there is just kind of hanging out, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
We're gonna do something up here called a corner jump, but I'm gonna try it once. It's probably the sketchiest thing in the game.
Yeah, so the way I'll let Bug attempt the corner jump here, and then we'll kind of talk about what happened. Awesome, there it is. Okay, so essentially what's happening there is like, oh no, oh no.
I won't do it again. So
Okay.
in this game, if you sometimes when you jump and shoot, Mike just goes forward and dies. And that's something that I was watching out for specifically, and then it just happened. So.
That's alright. It wasn't too far back, so we'll be alright here.
Yeah, that's alright.
So the way that the corner jumps work in this game is, so it's another way to get over a two gap or 2 block gap. Is if you go up to like the corner of a platform, like the one that Bugdoctor was just on there, you can actually you can actually push up, and as long as you're close enough to the corner of the platform, the game will just kind of push Mike over to the right in midair, which gives you just the right amount of distance that you need to make that to clear that jump. There are a few spots in the run where corner jumps actually become really helpful, and that's one of them. All right, this is the Scorpion Queen.
Let's gonna play this safe.
Yeah, this is not given a very favorable pattern here. So the way the Scorpion Queen works is she will only attack you with her projectiles if you defeat one of her young that keep spawning out at the top of the screen. So every time you defeat one of those baby scorpions, she gets angry and spits projectiles at you. So
Yes.
if you don't get the attacks in really quickly, really early, that boss battle can get really scary.
That's unfortunate that I fell in that pit because of that weird moving forward thing, but alas. Hey, I got the corner jump. I was happy about that at least.
You got it. You got the corner jump.
Happiness was
try.
fleeting. Fleeting happiness.
All right, so we take this camel into the desert, and here comes a turtle, I guess. And this is why the pizza delivery is taking so long, because the guy decided to deliver the pizza on a turtle. I don't know. The humor in Startropics 2 is it's a whole nother level.
Yes, it's way more off the wall. I mean, Startropics 1 is off the wall, but Startropics 2 just takes it and runs with it. Absolutely.
So we get the pizza from Caesar's Hut. That is the pizza company that is delivering the pizza, and we give it to Cleopatra here, and she has no regard for manners whatsoever, and just shoved that pizza in her mouth.
Does even offer one to Mike? Oh, did you want one?
Chomp, chomp, choo, choo. Ate an entire pizza in just like seconds.
Yeah. That's my favorite line in the game. She is a knockout. It's funny.
I believe an earlier NPC tells you that supposedly she's a knockout or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Little callback there.
Yeah.
All right, and this is actually where it is scripted for us to get the next upgrade. So we take our stone axe and we get to upgrade it to a dagger.
Yeah. I was joking around the other day that she's like, oh, here, take this bronze dagger and trade me your axe. And she just like throws the axe over the boat. Silent.
I don't need this thing anymore.
Yeah.
All right, so this section here is a kind of an interesting level design.
Yes,
there's these like interesting. There's these these hedge mazes that we have to kind of go through. If you climb up onto those little like ladders and platforms, you can actually see the right path to get through. But that obviously takes time, and so we don't do that, and we totally memorize the entire path through the hedges, right?
Yes, there's no bumps. I don't bump into anything there.
Yeah, you never bump a wall.
Oh, no, not once.
Okay, there we go. Some extra heart here.
To save you guys from
that's right. I'm actually saving. I can't hear the audio of the music or for the game right now, and I'm actually kind of happy about that because the low health sound in Startropics 2 is so loud.
That's what they was that. Let's just take the one from Startropics 1 and make it 10 times worse.
Just increase the decibel level. You know, just a couple thousand.
Yeah, make them on shrill. Really tell them that they suck.
So you'll notice that there's a lot more pits here that drop you into dungeons. Most of these are unfortunately unskippable. Oh boy, these frogs are being they're out for blood on this run.
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna take that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You know we. You see those hearts? You gotta grab them. Right.
Weird one-eyed frogs. I wonder where they got one eye.
I don't know. Some kind of mutation or something.
Maybe those are Zoda like F or something.
Alright. And now we get to go back to even more awesome mazes, hedge mazes.
The last hedge maze. Yeah, not bumping into anything. Oh, no, that wasn't a bump. I just turned. Yeah,
the whole reason we're doing this is to chase after this monkey that we saw running through these hedges. And this monkey is actually going to end up giving us one of our next weapons.
Oh. I don't know what I was doing there, but
that was the proper way to get through.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I think you're totally fine.
Completely intentional to just zigzag.
Alright, so we finally come up to the monkey. It turns out that this monkey is actually has psychic powers and can bestow those psychic powers to Mike. I told you this game gets crazy weird. So now Mike has psychic abilities. So we have two weapons now. We get to switch between. We have the dagger and we have the psychic shockwave. The psychic shockwave.
I mean, darn tootin'.
The psychic shockwave actually can be shot a lot faster, but I believe it does less damage.
Yes.
But because it shoots so much faster, we end up using it a lot. There are actually some enemies in this game that can only be defeated with the psychic shockwave.
Okay.
Oh no!
Nothing happened. Just over your eyes. I told you guys I was as good at this one. Actually, that's the first time I've died since this game, so.
Yeah, so a lot of these sections here, you gotta be like super careful because even these spike pits are like just like instant death. So all this jumping and the fact that Startropics 2 takes away the tile game mechanic can be really tough to deal with because it almost seems like a lot of the rooms are still designed with the tile mechanic in mind, but they've added full motion for Mike, which can make things a little tough to deal with.
Yeah, it's the platforming in this game it's wonky. If you're just like a pixel like off, you just die, and it's hard to see, like hard to know where that pixel is until you're super experienced at it, which I'm not super experienced at this game.
I think you've got
one. To just make a mistake.
So we have to deal with a lot of these enemies as we walk through here. There's a button at the top of the platforms here, which will open up the next door to the next section. There, yeah, we got to get the secret orb.
Orb joke.
Orb hype. Insert orb here. We got some more lucky signs. Lucky signs made it into this game as well.
I'm just gonna ignore it. Time doesn't exist.
Attack some these pharaoh enemies here. Make quick work of those. These arrow tiles on the floor will push Mike in the direction of the arrow. So it's that room in particular can be kind of difficult since you have to kind of work against the arrows as you're shooting at those spiders, and as the spiders are shooting at you. These enemies here are actually one of the examples of the enemies that can only be attacked with the psychic shockwave. Those zombie-like enemies.
Yeah, it was creepy when I was a kid.
Yeah, they got some
zombie dudes.
Interesting sprite work. I see their ribs and everything.
Yeah.
All right, so this is one of the not one of the first, but another one of the puzzles in a dungeon that we're going to be coming at. In this next room, we're gonna get in that chest there. We're gonna find a flute. And then we take that flute back to the room where there was a snake pattern on the floor. And we'll have a photosensitivity warning coming up here in a second.
Yes, I always forget that.
In this room here. And we'll use the flute. And then some cobras will come out of the wall, which we'll then defeat. And then exit the room up top.
And the snakes in this game are infinitely worse than the ones in Startropics 1, because they just randomly move all over the place.
Slide all over the place. All right, here we are at the final boss for Chapter 3. This is the Monster Mask. Looks totally like a totally normal Pharaoh mask until that happens, and it
so it becomes nightmare.
Oh boy! And shoots a huge photon beam at you.
Yeah. It's not the smoothest Chapter 3, but whatever.
It was great. It was perfect.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
All right, and then there's another Tetrad. All right, and that is going to take us to the next chapter, which is going to be, I believe, Scotland Yard.
Yeah, something to note in this one is, I don't know if you mentioned it before, but you get your health refilled at the end of every chapter, which is good. But
oh yeah,
when you're speedrunning, you want to end dungeons and chapters with as much health as possible, because that adds up like mad if you need to get a refill at the end of every single one, and it's a significant number of herds.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it becomes obviously as you keep getting more and more health in each chapter, it becomes more and more important to lose less and less health.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here we are in Scotland Yard to find a friend here, Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier that we don't really know exactly what's going on yet. We got these weird blocks that are showing up, and they're taking us through this book, and you know Sherlock, he's good at solving mysteries, so let's employ Sherlock.
Yeah, and he's the first person who mentions anything about Zoda X.
Yeah, how Sherlock knows about Zoda?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe Zoda, or maybe he's also an alien, just like Babu.
Oh yes, that's right. In the manual, I believe it does say alien Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, it does. Yes.
So that police officer gets really mad at Mike because he's out super late, and he puts us in jail, and then we just escape through the wall because like the fugitive 16-year-old that we are.
Yeah. The guy in the next cell is just like, this place is escape-proof, man. He just walked through this hole in the wall. It's like, oh.
Didn't even have to try.
Yeah.
And there is our first appearance of Zoda in the game. That's him. He's plotting his revenge.
I'm gonna get my revenge, Mike.
All right, so we're starting the first dungeon here in Chapter 4, and we get a new game mechanic. These rafts. So the rafts work a little different than the other platforms in this game, because you can actually walk right off of the platforms if you're not careful. Most of the other tiles in the game, you can kind of press up against them and Mike won't fall off, but that is not the case with the raft, so you got to be really careful when you jump on them.
Yeah, and they're just really hard to kind of figure it out. Okay, that's fine. Just did another corner jump there to skip basically half this dungeon.
Yeah, that was yeah, that one is super important to pull off, because this dungeon can take a really long time if you without that corner jump. So this room with the owls is also interesting because it shows an example of the Z-axis that the game applies to the enemies. Be quiet here during this boss fight. All right. Yeah, that boss is all about buffering attacks and making sure you get the maximum number of attacks in on each one of those platforms, so that when you throw your final hit, you can jump onto the button as the enemy is dying.
Yeah, it's one of the few bosses that will actually just one-hit kill you in this game, because obviously it's blocking that tile that just lets you exit the room, so they had to make it a one-hit kill. So you have to actually kill it and then jump on the tile instead of just damage boosting through it.
And then we see Zoda wandering the sewers of Scotland Yard. Yeah, destroyed his spaceship, and now he's got to walk everywhere like a chump. All right, we're picking up another sub weapon here. This is the discus, or the discs. They're super powerful. We utilize them a lot in this dungeon, especially on the boss.
Yeah,
I guess
super good.
I guess it's kind of a good time to discuss the iframes here, with that owl that just attacked you. The iframes in this game are kind of non-existent. If an enemy attacks you and you are overlapped with that enemy, you're going to take multiple hits. There's no way around it. So you kind of have to make sure you don't overlap with an enemy, because, boy, it'll just drain your hearts super fast.
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
Oh, that was nice. That was close.
You dirty rat.
Yeah.
2, 3. 2, 3.
Alright, and then we'll be coming up to another raft room here. Thankfully, we can pick up these extra hearts here because we have to wait for the raft to turn back around.
Yeah, this is basically just a long auto-scroller screen. There's no way to skip it. If there were like enemies, you might be able to do some kind of void lock, but I'm kind of glad that there isn't a way to do it, because I feel like it would be a thing.
Yeah, I have fallen off of these rafts many a times.
Yeah.
A real pain in the butt. So we pick up some more discs here. We're going to use these on the final boss of this chapter, because they have the highest damage output that we can currently do at this point. I think actually in the whole game, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so we want to get really close to Zoda here. Yeah, jump up and down, avoiding the damage. Because if you stand on these arrows, the arrows will push us in all different directions. Yeah. Yeah, the fire. Oh, there we go. One hit. Very close to a 2-cycle. Yeah, we want him to drop the fire there because it gives us the chance to hit him more often. But the way that he dropped the fire on that second attack was not optimal.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've ever gotten a chance to one cycle him. He just has not been cooperating the last little while. And yeah, when he's on when he spawns fire on the exact tile he's also on, then the fire will eat the attacks, which is not ideal. But we're done chapter 4.
On the chapter 4, got another one of those Tetrads. Then Sherlock Holmes comes here and just takes all the credit for solving the mystery. So we say, peace out, Holmes. Jump back in the book.
Oh, it's Alfred time. Catch later, man. 2 days later, Sherlock Holmes was committed to an asylum.
There's aliens. I swear there's aliens.
Aliens? My problem, boy. Jean jacket. Jean jacket.
It's elementary. All right, so now we are in the Gold Rush era here.
This is where we're gonna get our little side thing.
Yes, we have a second incentive for this block of runs, which is similar to the first one, which was eat the big red apple. This is get the chicken nugget.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny. It's a lot more Startropics 2's humor here, but we get some dynamite from this dude here, and he will. There's a place in here which will tell us how to get to the next dungeon, using what the game refers to as the cactus dance. But we don't go and learn the cactus dance because we already know the cactus dance. But if you don't know the cactus dance and you use this dynamite on various other places in the wall, you will find pieces of gold. You can find the entrance to the next dungeon, or you can find some, chicken nuggets.
Tasty chicken. It's been in there for who knows how long.
Who knows? There it is.
You strike it rich. Wow, it's a chicken nugget. You try it. It's delicious. But nothing happens. Exactly.
Perfect. Yeah, the wall meat, exactly. But once again, no actual benefit. doesn't even refill hearts.
No. I mean, we're full. I mean, maybe it does.
I guess you're right. I mean, we have full hearts right now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the it actually gives you 20 hearts. Fills it up 20 hearts. All right, so now we're going to actually blow up the wall to the real entrance to the next dungeon.
Yeah. I was just thinking about calling that guy. There's Bob the Builder, but that guy he's called Bob that we get the stuff from. Instead, he's Bob the Blaster.
Yeah, I believe the store I think it even has a sign.
Yeah, Bob's store.
Bob's store. That's canon. All right, so we're gonna jump into this room here. We got these giant boulders that we're just gonna kind of weave through. More of these super awesome snakes that Bug loves so much.
Oh, God. These ones are even worse.
Alright, this is more of that, more of this Z-axis that the game is implementing here.
These speed coins.
Yeah, so these enemies are really interesting. When you attack them with the dagger, they actually turn into these coins. I believe if you attack them with the psychic shockwave, they won't turn into the coins.
Yes, that's correct.
But it's faster to deal with them as the coins because they move a lot faster and they can come at you. So this boss right here, he uses a giant boulder as a shield to block your attacks. And okay, there it goes.
Yeah, this takes a while. I was going to jump and try to learn the timing, but then I'm just like, nah, never mind.
It seems a little longer to me for some reason, but
Yeah.
so there is actually a void walk that you can use to skip past that guy. I see someone mentioned in chat.
Yep.
But it's probably one of the hardest void walks to perform actually. And yeah, if you get it wrong, there's no second chances.
It's the opposite of marathon safe.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's pixel and frame perfect if I remember right.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we're gonna deal with these scorpions from afar.
Die, God.
Get out of here. Get out of here, scorpion. We also have our super psychic shockwave now, an upgraded psychic shockwave. We require 5 hearts or more to use this weapon, which we are just meeting the requirements for right now.
Just barely.
So actually, it's actually like really nice that this dungeon supplies us with potions, so that we can utilize that super psychic shockwave. You can see Bugdoctor actually has one right now, specifically for that reason. This chest over here is going to reveal a star. I bet you can't guess what that does in this game. If you guess invincibility.
Nintendo brand game.
It is invincibility for anybody who is playing along at home. Alright, so this is one of the most annoying sub-bosses in the entire game. More annoying than, honestly, any of the main bosses in the game. And one of the reasons why we pick up those those potions.
I thought that scorpion shot was gonna hit me. It's like
just far enough away.
Yeah.
We got
you deal with these guys in this game.
nope. They just there to ruin your day.
Snake.
Speaking of which, there's some snakes doing the same thing. We got some. Yeah, we gotta kind of sneak past these wall spikes here. Very much like chapter 5 in Startropics 1, and that brings us to the final boss of chapter 5. This is Mad Miner. This is where we're going to utilize that invincibility star. It makes it a lot easier to deal with by being able to just kind of like jump around, and not have to worry about those giant boulders that are bouncing around on the floor. Without the invincibility star, that fight can be really difficult. Even with the invincibility star, honestly, it's still really hard.
Yeah, he's a huge jerk. It's really like not so much him as those stupid boulders that just get in the way of each shots and all that stuff. So yeah, we're through it, and that's all that matters at this point.
We got ourselves our 4th Tetrad, which means that we are going to go traveling through that book again.
Yep.
And
there's a frame where Mike's just like, oh, stay here a while. Maybe I won't read.
This place has chicken nuggets.
Yeah, and they're free. Bob gives me explosives for free. I just gotta find them.
Alright, so now we are on chapter 6. We are traveling to the Italian Renaissance.
Yep, good overall music here. I always like the overall music in this particular section.
Yeah, this whole game has some really, really nice jams.
Oh, yeah, it's got a really great soundtrack. I do like the soundtrack more in 1, but I was talking about that earlier. It's mostly because of the way the instruments are in that game and how it sounds tropical.
Really. the theme.
But this game has way more variety in music, which is really nice.
Yeah, I know that's a common gripe about Startropics 1 is it repeats the same music over and over again. So this one tries to fix that problem by giving you a lot more variety in stages.
We're not doing that boy block turns out.
So yeah, this is Leonardo's basement. And Leonardo likes to collect various metal balls that just like I don't know why this is all in his basement. I don't know what Leonardo's doing down here.
I could call him ball aficionado.
Ball aficionado Leonardo. So we got some precarious platforming to perform. And then we have these puzzles that come up in the next room. Where we have to attack these balls and shoot them into these holes that are around the room. So this one is sort of like an introductory to the mechanic, and then you go into the next room and you're you're given a lot more.
You want to watch me struggle? Watch me get this friggin' room. Oh, that's close.
And there you go. There you go. One more. It's like you kind of have to like hit them like right before they hit the tile where they fall into the holes, and gosh, those rooms are so frustrating the first time you go through them, and honestly every time afterwards.
There's steps for, like, I know the general setup for the first room because it's just two of them and it's easy. That second room though is like there's a specific way to do it, and I just never really learned it. I just kind of wing it and hope for the best.
So now we pick up this chisel and this hammer here because Leonardo is trapped in I guess plaster.
Yeah.
Zoda just covered him in plaster, and it's we have to like carefully chisel him out of there. We were a little too hard on the head there, and he's got a little bandage.
It's weird because this alien, I just want to point this out, this alien committed basically genocide in the first Startropics. And this one, he's like one of the Three Stooges. He just throws plaster on people. It's weird.
And to reward us for saving him from the plaster prison, Leonardo redesigns the Mona Lisa, giving it a radical 90s haircut, and also lets us use his flying machine.
Yeah, I'm sure altering the Mona Lisa won't have any repercussions. Oops.
No, it's fine.
For the future. Yeah, definitely won't alter the timeline at all whatsoever.
Alright, and then this takes us to our next section, which is this castle. So this castle has a lot of floor traps in it, similarly to the ones that we were seeing in way back in chapter 3 in the hedge maze. But fortunately, a lot of these ones are actually skippable. There are a couple of them that are scripted and we actually have to fall into. But most of them we memorize where they are and try to avoid.
Yeah, there's one coming up here, and then there's one more after this. Oh. Just one of the hurts. To decrease my time in the end of the chapter. It probably costs more to get them than that.
Alright. Make quick work of that room. Yeah, so if you actually take one of the other directions in that room, it can take a while to actually get out. but we go out the quick exit out the top. Same thing with this one.
These skulls can be jerks sometimes. Get out of my way, man.
Also, something that happened here. Gosh, yeah, Leonardo gives you so many things. Leonardo is like the savior of Startropics 2, honestly. Because he also
go fly somewhere.
he gives you the ship. He redesigns the Mona Lisa, and he also gives you the upgrade to your main weapon. So you have a katana instead of the dagger.
Yep. That's our final upgrade for our primary weapon. It does a lot of damage. So we're gonna lean on it for quite a bit, especially in this next dungeon here, which is my favorite dungeon.
Yeah, so it's here Zoda is coming to enact his revenge on us even more, and he's going to send us to the land of Transylvania, which, as Bugdoctor said, is probably one of the coolest dungeons in the entire game. There's a lot of really awesome enemies here, a lot of cool mechanics that we'll see throughout this stage.
Yeah, just a really good, really fun dungeon. Both like casually and in the speedrun. A lot of branching paths, and you gotta like find the right way to go. And that sounds kind of frustrating, but honestly, I always thought this was just a really cool dungeon. And it has the best music in the game, so you know.
Yeah, and another thing to note too is with these dungeons is that even the walls and everything are themed to the stage. This one being like a haunted mansion style stage. These Frankenstein creatures, you attack them a few times and they will their tops will get cut off, and then their pants just run around. And then we have this game's version of the ghosts. There'll be a whole bunch of ghosts, and you have to find the pink-colored one, which is the only one that will actually be able to take damage.
Just getting stuck on the wall there, don't mind me.
These enemies right here are similar to the Dark Nuts in Legend of Zelda, where you can only attack them from either behind or on the sides. So they're just as annoying as the ones in Legend of Zelda. And then we have a new sub-weapon here. This is the triple shot. It's a spread attack, which is really nice against these bats. You can hit multiple at once.
Yeah, it kills them in one hit. The bats in this game got a huge upgrade where you can throw 2 swords at them and that's what it takes to kill them instead of just one yo-yo hit.
Yeah, really buff bats.
Yeah, Zoda's like, I gotta buff those Noctos. That'll be my revenge.
Another good thing about the triple shot is if you use the triple shot really close to an enemy, to the point where you can actually hit them with multiple or more than one of the projectiles, it will do damage for every single one that hits the enemy. So, wow. So this enemy drops these little crystal balls, and if you attack them, they explode and projectiles at you. So we don't want to do that. But Bugdoctor did a really good job at avoiding those. Take care of these super bats again. These enemies here drop these explosives, which send out a lot of projectiles at us, and more of Zoda's super buff bats to deal with.
It was like, oh, leave the bats guard my boss room because they're so strong.
It takes us to the final boss of this chapter. This is actually Zoda Y. We end up finding out that Zoda is actually making clones of himself, because we're like, wait, didn't we already defeat Zoda in a previous chapter? There's more. An endless barrage of Zodas.
Yeah, off the bat. There are 26 chapters in this game.
So using these super psychic shockwave is really important on this enemy, or on this boss, because it slows down its animations. Actually allows us to. Well, that was very close.
I was literally a pixel off of jumping in that pit.
Just showing off for chat. That's what it is.
Definitely. I was just, didn't stress me out at all. I'm fine.
Wow, you've done it. All right. All right, and then we got our sixth Tetrad.
Yep. This just kind of clued into me. Do you think they called it a Tetrad just to have the word rad in there? Do you think they did that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because usually they're referred to as tetraminos, right? So yeah, I think you're onto something there.
Just to increase the radicalness of this game.
That is a super radical thing to do.
Very radical, yes.
All right, here we are in chapter 8. We tried to get back, but instead we ended up landing in Camelot.
Yes.
Mike doesn't know that yet, though. He just thinks he's in some random forest.
These LARPers? What are these?
Yeah, what's going on here?
You guys LARPing?
Yeah, it's a known fact that Mike is in a LARPing community.
Yes.
So, since we're in Camelot, who are we gonna go talk to but none other than King Arthur himself. King Arthur is so powerful that he can actually give us a health bonus here. As he knights us one whole heart.
Thanks, dude.
So now we are Knight Michael.
Yes. Sir Michael Jones.
Sir Michael Jones.
Yeah, just waltzes in the throne room. Yeah, exactly. Just walk right in.
No, there's no reason at all. I guess he just really wanted to knight somebody that day. I don't know.
First person who comes through this door, I'm going to send him to kill the dragon.
This guy looks totally innocent.
Yes.
All right. So this dungeon has a couple interesting little puzzle type rooms. That previous room that we were just in, if you destroy all the enemies, the mic will just kind of fall through the floor. Same with this room here. We want to position ourselves so that when we fall through the floor, we land on the platform. That takes us to the next room. If you are in the wrong spot, when the enemies die, you actually will miss the platform, and then you have to like backtrack, and it adds a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
Got these. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm talking to myself. I'm saying the things.
Saying the thing. Yeah, we gotta go skip a lot of these swords here, because we're coming up on the boss here in this room. This is the Gold Knight. What we want to do is he moves around like super duper fast. We want to like position ourselves so that when we throw our katana, it hits the knight as he's coming from the other direction.
Just one hit off of a 3-cycle, which is probably the best I've done on that. I've done a 3-cycle. He's a jerk. That boss he just serves to be an annoyance.
Alright, and now we learn that all these animal companions that we have found along the way have not actually been animals, but instead have been Merlin. Yes, that same Merlin from Camelot.
looking Merlin. Sad. Tired.
He's pretty exhausted. I guess I never really noticed the bags under his eyes.
Oh, but flapping my wings all day as a sowl.
Looks like he hasn't had like a good meal in a while. He's got like
Yeah.
cheeks are kind of sunk in there.
So, when's Feed the Wizards? When's that marathon?
Feed the Wizards marathon. But Merlin actually gives us our final shockwave or our final weapon upgrade, which is the Ultra Psychic Shockwave. Requires 10 plus hearts to use, but it can fire across the entire distance of the room, similar to how the Supernova worked in Startropics 1. So we will use almost exclusively use the Ultra Psychic Shockwave at this point.
Yeah, it's got the highest DPS in the game, so it just makes sense to use it when you have it. Almost missed that night.
So yeah, this dungeon has a lot of really scary enemies in it. It'll throw a lot of these jumping slimes at you. Those knights that we were just dealing with can shoot out spreads of projectiles. These giant jelly creatures will split into a bunch of smaller ones and can also shoot projectiles at you. So it's just a lot to deal with, and most of the time we have to defeat them all to progress.
Yeah.
We got the Rockies that came back from Startropics 1, but they're buffed now. They shoot out 8 projectiles instead of 4.
Yep. One of the few repeat enemies. There's not really too many repeat enemies in this game.
No, not really. A lot more precarious platforming here. Get through.
There's a technical way to do this room with the void block that saves like 6 seconds, but it's not marathon safe.
Super duper scary.
I never learned it, so because it's too scary.
So this Gold Knight is one of the worst enemies in the game. It acts like a Dark Nut, can attack it from the front, and it can shoot out a spread of projectiles. So it's like, hey, you know all the annoying things that enemies can do in this game? Let's put it all on one enemy.
Top of the big package. Here we have 2 of the Kamehameha dinosaurs, as I like to call them. Yeah. Zodasaurs.
The Zodasaurs. And now we have 2 of the Gold Knights to deal with. Hopefully, getting real close. They're just so obnoxious. Look at how they hold that shield. It's not. I don't even think they're using their arms. It's just attached to the front of their armor. Yeah. All these projectiles. These guys are super scary.
Yeah, these Gold Knights are one of the most annoying things in the game. In the speedrun, especially because they can literally make or break your chapter 8.
Yeah, every
Just not even giving a chance.
I mean, it's just like in Startropics 1. You know, every single extra attack is just more time that adds to your run. So when you're dealing with suboptimal enemy movement like that, it's just it can be a real pain in the butt. All right, now we are in the final. Holy moly! All right, we are in the thick of the final boss of Chapter 8. This is the dragon. We are going to sit here and attack it as it slowly walks down to the bottom of the screen. Yes, alright. I was gonna say, hopefully we're gonna get the one cycle. If it gets down to the bottom of the screen, it will start flying around the screen and shooting fireballs at you really, really fast, and it's just not a good time, because it's really hard to dodge the attacks.
Yeah.
And like we've mentioned earlier, we want to end the dungeon with as many hearts as possible to eliminate time on the heart refills.
Yeah, which we definitely did that, at least.
Yes, and we get our final Tetrad.
And Mike can't figure out how to put them together, so we'll just keep on walking.
Well, you know, he's not a big puzzle game fan.
Under this cliff.
Hopefully we know somebody who is good at puzzle games.
Yeah, I really hope that somebody in this game is really good at Tetris.
So Mika came to talk to us psychically, but unfortunately the signal was disconnected. And we don't know exactly why.
It says, "Come to Sea Island." And so we get one of the coolest revisits in, I don't know, on
the entire Startropics series.
That's true. Yes, this is honestly a really, really cool chapter and a great way to finish off Startropics 2.
Yep.
I always love this ending.
Final chapter is a revisit to Sea Island, and we are actually going to go into the old dungeon from Startropics 1, but something's a little different here in the overworld. Everybody has been turned into boars, except for this kid, I guess.
Yeah,
That's right, he was gone fishing. Comes back and everybody's turned into pigs. Even the pig turned into a pig. So yeah, this dungeon is almost a copy of the first dungeon from Startropics 1. There's a couple rooms that they took out. Oh, that jelly.
Yeah, it's
coming into ruin.
Want me dead. It's okay.
But yeah, even all the enemies are the same, except with the Startropics 2 versions of them. So we got the rats here, the Ratus, I believe is what they're called, and then the jellies, the jumping versions of them. Here they replaced the jellies with Noctos. Get ourselves a triple shot here. And we're going to actually revisit the boss of Chapter 1 as well, Sea Serpent, which will be in the next room here. Unfortunately, Sea Serpent is also not fought in this version of the game either, because we're just gonna void walk right past Sea Serpent. Sea Serpent never gets his dues.
No.
Both of the Sea Serpent fights are actually fairly interesting and fun, but nope, not in the speedrun.
No time.
Ain't got no time for that. And then we fall into the floor here, and things get ominous.
Yes, very creepy.
Yes, everything's black and white, and it's boss rush time. But well, we'll see. I don't know if I don't really feel like fighting all the bosses. I don't know about you, bud.
I don't. That's the way things have been going. We might end up fighting them all. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
So we're gonna fight a lot of these the bosses from the previous chapters in order of their original appearance. Here we are dealing with the Scorpion Queen. There is a super cool Void Walk and Wrong Warp that we'll try to implement in the refight of Zoda Y. Alright, dealing with the mask real smooth.
Yeah, the Ultra Second Shockwave makes them a lot easier. Not really here's at the bottom there, but not a desirable pattern here.
Right.
Ouch.
2 skull attacks. I hate to see it.
Man, he's been giving me the skulls very, very frequently. It's so weird.
Alright, now we get to deal with the Mad Miner again. This time without the invincibility.
Yeah, without the star. It's honestly not that bad. If you can just hit him.
Yes. As long as you can damage him, not a problem. Alright, here we are in the Zoda Y. So I am going to be quiet here as Bug tries to pull off this wrong warp.
Yes, that was great. Okay.
And that's it. We got it. Alright, so Bug was able to use a void jump to get over here to the other side where we're technically not supposed to be. This is going to cause us to drop through the floor, and we're going to land on the wall tile to the left, which allows us to walk to a wrong warp tile, and boom, we skip the rest of the dungeon. And that is that's the end of the Chapter 8 dungeon. We got to fight the...
We're gonna take them with us, because...
There you go. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's basically the end of Startropics 2 there. We just have to tie it in as when we talk to the chief here, so... There you go.
And time.
I am missing mine. There we go. So 105 something.
105.28. Not bad at all.
So it turns out in the end that the chief's middle name is Tetris, and he knows how to play Tetris even though he's on an island where there's really no video games or technology.
It's good. There's a reason they call me Chief Tetris Coca-Cola.
So, photosensitivity warning. We'll play out the ending here because it's a good ending. We got out of the Startropics 1-1, so we'll play through the ending of this one. Yeah, photosensitivity, like, they definitely did not consider photosensitivity for this game whatsoever.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So normally at the end of chapter 8, you end up having to fight more versions of Zoda. The actual final boss of Zoda, the casual boss, is actually really super cool. So if you ever get a chance to play through Zoda's Revenge, you'll get a real treat in the final boss. I think it's honestly one of my favorite bosses on the NES.
Yes, absolutely. It's really cool. Yeah, unfortunately, we just skipped him, and it was kind of a sad day when we found that skip. I mean, it's really cool, don't get me wrong, but to just leave Zoda just hang out in a dungeon all by himself, it's kind of sad. And he is a really cool boss, so... that concludes this 2-hour-ish block of Startropics.
The entire Startropics series.
I don't know whether we'll ever get a revisit to this series. It doesn't really seem like Nintendo's too bent on putting a new one out, but
not quite.
Know.
Just about 31 years since the first game.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So, I guess I'll just say thanks at this point, and I hope you all have an excellent day. Thanks to Zero Counts for commentating. It's always great to have someone to bounce off of and joke around about stuff with. And
thanks for having me.
And thanks to Retro Gaming Live for having me on Feed the Kids. I'm glad I could showcase these games. It's my first time running Startropics. Well, it's my first time running anything besides Startropics 1 for a marathon. So, it was a bit scary, but had a blast. So that's good. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Thanks, everybody.